guys are always waiting for that Mark Dunn rip to bring us in. This is Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. We are here. I am the founder and host of the 757 House Whisperer Show. I have always start out thanking you guys for listening, and to remember to call in and ask questions about your house. The purpose of this show was to educate homeowners in our 757 what in the world is going on with their house, from the roof all the way to the crawl. Any problems in the house, we have masters in our trades, in our industries. I'm a building science geek, and there is not much that I can't fix about houses, but I thought bringing in specialists about our I don't know what's going on here in the background, but Cindy is causing a ruckus in our thing. So I know. So anyway, why don't we have Cindy introduce herself? I'm Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. I'm the heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing guy in the group, spray foam and encapsulations. And then we have the wild one, Miss Cindy. Come on in.
Good afternoon or evening, everybody. Thanks for joining the show tonight. Thank you, Chuck, for that grand introduction. I am Cindy Rowell, owner and operator of Alpha Pest Solutions. We are a full-service termite moisture company, so we do inspections when people are buying and selling their homes. We do pulling out of insulation. We do moisture barriers, fungus treatments, termite treatments. If it creeps or crawls, I can get it for you. Justin calls me the critter getter, but I'm also known as the only woman you know with the license to kill.
That is awesome. All right, Mr. Davenport.
Hey there, Hampton Roads. I'm Michael Davenport. I'm a partner at CVP Windows and Doors. We are a window manufacturer, door distributor right here in Newport News. We're the only local guy that can make your windows to fit, and we also are an installer. Call us at 757-887-3194. Tomorrow morning we'll help you out. But right now, call the 757-627-7979. Get somebody on the phone here. Remember, whatever you ask helps other people as well. Give us a call. What about it, Albin?
Oh, yeah. My name is Albin. I'm with Albin Co. We specialize in home remodels, additions, and renovations. You got a kitchen you need redone or a bathroom redone, we do those type of things. I'd also like to introduce to you Justin with Pyramid Roofing. He is he actually helps with repairs, but he also does a full service roof work, and he's your guy. He's the guy. He's
gutters.
got those yellow trucks that drive around the road.
That's
I'm
right.
sure people see him. So
he does the gutters also.
Right,
Yeah.
he's going to be honest about
gutters
what's going on
and,
with
and
that
roof.
roof.
So he'll
Yep.
take care of you,
You know
on
you're
that.
in luck when you see the yellow truck, right?
That's right.
That's
That's
what I
Pyramid
said.
That's
Roofing.
it.
Oh man, now I got that jingle in my head.
We also got Tommy Hines with Perfect Home Remedies. He actually is the money man. He'll help you with find your investments, or he'll help you with getting funds for what you need done on your house, whether it's windows, maybe a termite treatment or something. I don't know. Maybe you got some air conditioning problem or whatever. He's going to help you figure out what type of loan you might need to get that renovation done.
And then
Yeah,
last
maybe
but
we
not
got
least is Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. He's our young buck of the group. He is 25, just brought on his 5th employee. I'm really proud of this kid. He's and again, some of you guys are probably like me. Anybody under 30 is a kid. So
Yep.
don't be offended
50
by
for
that.
some
I
of
know.
us.
I know, exactly.
You're under 50, you're a kid.
But he's killing it. He's the painter of the group, and he loves sheetrock repairs and painting. He specializes in that. So like Mike said, 627-7979. 627-7979. Call into the show. Ask any questions about any type of issues in your house.
Stump the experts. Stump the experts.
Try and stump the experts. I
Right.
got pros up here. Nobody's going to stump the experts. So I like you guys or what Mike was trying to say earlier was basically by you calling in and asking questions, you're literally helping thousands of other listeners with problems with their house. You may not have the specific exact question that they have, but why is my toilet rocking? We're going to be given a couple different explanations about that. Mike, it's not because I have a big butt.
I said it's because of the music.
No. But that could help. Oh yeah, that's the only time I hear music in the bathroom. So see that we're solving problems. We are here. We have solutions. We are solving problems.
Don't tell me we're not having a good time.
No, that's one thing that we can guarantee. On Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m., we are going to have a blast. So you may not, but we definitely will.
Yeah, so, talking about windows, Michael and I were just talking about this. If you guys don't know, he can actually do black windows for you, too. If pretty trendy right now. So
Thank you, Julie.
Different colors and stuff like that.
Even if you don't want them, right?
Yeah, you were doing that today at my house, so thank you, Michael. Thank you, Alvin.
Not only will he do black on the outside, but we actually had a project where the homeowner wanted white on the outside and black on the inside, so we were able to do that for the customer.
Yeah.
See, that's what happens when you get a manufacturer that's in your backyard in Newport News. Like they're manufacturing the windows right here in this area, which I just think is phenomenal. Yeah,
well, we've been around for 23 years now, and we bought an existing company that Barry had started for a gentleman that made glass to go on the carriages of Canon copiers made in Newport News. And when the company came up for sale, we said, hey, I said, man, you got to do something here. You keep the company going. We're going to put together some people and buy that thing. And it's just Barry and I left now. And we service all the way up into the Richmond market, Ashland. We're just opening up into Richmond full bore. Matter of fact, I'm going to be up there all day tomorrow with a salesman up that way. We go into the Northern Neck. We go down to Elizabeth City. I'll be there Friday doing a quote. All the way down into Pungo, which is almost down into nowhere. You get down there to the 2-lane roads that don't have any lines. So we really are all over. Cindy, where you go to?
All those very same places.
Oh, we'll have to cross lines.
That's right. Up past Richmond.
You could carpool, save some gas.
Yeah, absolutely. Out past Saluda, we'll go out to Petersburg, down to the border. We just everywhere. Wherever the work is, that's where we go.
Yeah, one thing that I know Cindy does, we do, Chuck does, Alvin does, we employ people to work for us. We don't bring in subcontractors that are 1099 employees. You throw a magnetic thing on the side of their truck, call them an employee. That is not exactly the way it works. We employ everybody that does window installs for us and replacement work so that you know that you're getting the quality that you need to have. What's your feeling on that, Chuck?
I'm glad you threw that over to me. So I had an interesting conversation with one of the plumbers that works for me. We had merged a company, Colonial Electrical, over in up in Williamsburg, and he had worked for them company for a while. So he came to work for us when we purchased the company. He's working out great. Everything's great. He likes steady paychecks and stuff. But the company he worked for before that, he pulled me aside and he said, "Look, I'm in a situation. This guy's in his 30s. He didn't know any better. Companies do this to people all the time. Hey, I can pay you more money if I can pay you just straight 1099, which a 20-some-year-old, a 30-some-year-old, they might not even understand what you're saying other than, hey, I'm getting a bigger paycheck, which is true because they're not pulling the taxes out. So when we're talking about 1099 versus a W-2, you that are working for somebody every year, you get a W-2 at the end of the year, shows how much money we paid you. It shows you how much money taxes were pulled out, tells you how much health insurance pulled out, right? No, not, is it health insurance too? Like everything that's,
anything that's
anything that's pulled out of your check, it shows you everything on your check. And from state tax to FICA to federal tax to, what are some other Social Security that gets pulled out of it? So it's a W. Yeah, right. That's right. So unemployment. So a W-2, you are working for that company, only that company, and they are writing you a check and pulling all this stuff out. When someone says, "Hey, I'm going to pay you a 1099," they're just going to write you a check. Let's say it's $1,000 a week. Well, you know, and I know that's not $1,000 once the government gets involved. It's going to be more like $750 after everything gets pulled out. So then you're working for this company. Well, man, I'll pay you a 1099. You get a straight $1,000. Well, that kid, 20, 30-year-old guy, is going to be like, well, man, I could, feed my babies. I can get a better house. They're not realizing that they still have to pay taxes at the end of the year. Now they got to pay the CPA more money. They got to figure out self-employment tax. They don't even realize all of they have no idea. So this guy has tens of thousands of dollars. He told me he was making, I think, 75, 80 grand a year with this company, 1099 for 3 years.
Well, let me tell you,
3 years.
One of the
this guy's upside down. Yeah. And so I'm trying to hook him up with my CPA to try and maybe he can negotiate and work out a payment plan, because he's got, and that company did it to him. I don't blame him. I do blame him. He should, a little bit. But I do blame the company 100% because he didn't know.
Well, the sad part is part of the employer responsibility is to match certain things that are federal requirements. And that employee now is going to have to play both parts. So he's actually making less money for sure than he would have just being employed.
Right.
We're just thinking it from a consumer standpoint. It doesn't really matter to the consumer, and we're talking to a lot of consumers right now. But the part that does actually matter is the workers' compensation.
Oh, yeah.
When you are bringing in a company to do the work, and you don't know that the person doing the work on site is a 1099 individual, that person may not be insured, and so you've got a company that so you got a company that you thought they're a legit company, but they're actually hiring people, paying them as 1099s, and they don't have workers' comp, so they get hurt on the site, and you're putting. First off, the guy himself is putting himself at risk, the company, but he's also putting the customers at risk.
You at risk.
And it's a buyer beware situation where you want to really make sure that when you bring somebody in, that they actually are bringing in employees, that they're bona fide employees that are actually paid by the hour, that have the FICA, the MICA, all the different parts of that check, and they got the W-2 to prove it. And not that you have to go and ask each employee that comes into your house if they got a W-2.
But you have every right to.
Yes, you do.
You have every right to. You need to know who's working for you.
So that's just one thing you need to be concerned about when you actually hire somebody that's, like you said, Mike, that they just throw a magnet on the side of the truck.
And this is just a perfect public service announcement for you guys. Some homeowners don't even realize the value and the importance of all the stuff that we're talking about. Insurance, workers' comp. Do you realize if someone falls and breaks their leg on your property that you could be liable? If that company is not a Class A contractor, he's not covered, he doesn't have general liability insurance. All this is, you could have a neighbor fall and break his leg when he's helping you put the roof on. He could sue you.
Yeah. But another thing, Chuck, people should always, when you have a contractor coming into your home, ask to see their business license, ask to see their liability insurance.
100%.
See if they're bonded, because the legitimate companies will have all that and say, sure, here it is. I got that. I got that for you.
Everybody standing behind the mic today, I could say without a shadow of a doubt, are insured. We have workers' comp. We have general liability. Some of us, or maybe all of us, have some type of umbrella policy. Mm-hmm. We're wanting to make sure that when we step on the property of a particular customer, that they can rest assured that something's not going to go.
Everybody's protected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that is a fantastic lesson for everybody today. Do remember, call in 627-7979. 627-7979. We're getting ready to take a caller, but I want you guys to call in. Any problems you're having in your house, we got 4 great people here tonight that are ready and waiting to help you fix your house. Damon, let's bring in Bill. Yep. What's up, Bill from Williamsburg?
Hi, Bill.
Well, actually, I'm from the Grafton area in York County, and
even better.
I'm calling because Mike just finished putting in a sliding glass door at my house, which I love. And Legacy Painting is getting ready to come out and paint a fence around my backyard, which needs a whole lot of love. He's going to provide it. So I I got two of my new best friends on your radio.
Well, that's
program,
fantastic.
and I can't thank them enough.
Can't you use a free inspection?
There you go. Yeah, you got Miss Cindy to go into your crawl space and look under there. Yeah, so thank you for the call. That is fantastic.
Thanks a
Good
lot,
to hear.
Bill.
Good to hear.
We'll be getting those windows in before long too.
I'll tell you, I just had
I got a call from your service manager. I know I need to get back in touch with him for the field measure.
Good.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
because that puts the system really underway because we can't build what we don't know. And as I told you, I was doing just rough estimates, and so we're looking forward to getting those things underway for you.
Not estimates.
Yeah, measurements. You're right, Chuck.
Yeah. There are other people that do rough estimates and then bang you over the head a month later. So, hey, I will tell you this. I just had my sliding glass door put into my master bedroom by Mr. Davenport, and Albin put it in. I will tell you, it changed the look of that bedroom like you would not believe. It doubled the size of that bedroom. So if I heard you right, you said it's going in the bedroom. It's going to double the size of your bedroom.
Well, the cool thing
And you're not
is
charging for that, Mike, are you?
Oh,
You're not
yeah,
charging
right,
for
right,
the
yeah.
the doubling of his bedroom
No,
size?
the square
No.
footage is for free, but it's actually in his family room.
I mean, there's so much truth to that. When you actually put more windows in, you're not only just bringing more light in, but you actually have more visual space. You know, you're seeing more stuff, and it just makes the room feel so
dark
much
by
bigger.
the time I got home last night, but still, even walking in there, I was just like, this room it's bigger. Like, it just feels, bigger. But fantastic. It really, I love looking out on my farm. And that's
Chuck,
pretty
on
cool.
that, I got a question for you. This is not on Windows though. You know, we're working through putting insulation in your house, and the question was brought up. Michael and I were talking about it, and this is kind of like part I don't understand is we're doing a combination of closed cell and open cell, and maybe you can hit on that. What kind of benefits do you gain from that for doing like that type of combination on the roof deck?
All right, so there's two ways of doing it, but the closed cell is what stops the infiltration of air getting through.
You're talking about foam, right?
Foam, spray foam, yeah. So there's closed cell and open cell. So closed cell, what we're doing in the walls is flash coating the walls, which is just a thin layer. I mean, I have a 1936 farmhouse. Literally, it's like a wind tunnel.
Not
like
anymore.
Yeah, that's true. It's like a wind tunnel.
As of today.
Yeah, so how I got sold on spray foam was 15 years ago. I was walking through a guy that actually works for me now. It was a competitor of mine's house. He said, man, I'm spray foaming my house. It's like 15 years ago. So I'm walking through the house. No windows in the house. 0 windows in the house. Now, 5,000 square foot house, humongous house. I walked through that house and the house right next door, just kind of looking at the structure. And, I'm just building science geek. I'm always looking at stuff, right? So I walked through, and it's like, it's 40 degrees. Wind is blowing. The walls are up, but no windows are in, right, on either house. And I'm freezing. Like, I got a sweatshirt on. Actually, I went and grabbed a jacket. I was walking through the house. By the time I walked through the spray foam house, now here's the key. There's no windows in the house. So it's spray foamed walls. No windows in the house. So it's not sealed. So it's still... air is moving.
You're not saying that the walls.
Are
he decided not to put windows in. You're saying there's holes in the walls
where the windows were not put in yet.
All right.
So spray foam was in, windows are not in. Right. So this is not like the windows are in. It's spray foam. Of course, it's going to be warmer in the house. Mm-hmm. No windows. I had to take my jacket off.
Wow.
By the time I finished walking through the house. Now, I'm a chubby guy, so I do sweat. But my point is, it was. I could not. It was 15 to 20 degrees different. I mean, with that wind chill that was blowing through those second floor windows, it could have been in the 30s, but it was cold.
All right.
But it had literally, the spray foam was holding in heat into the house with windows not in the house. Like, it just blew my mind.
What does the open cell do on top of?
All right, so
that?
this is all right. Don't tell the city code people, but this is my opinion. The codes in Virginia, we're trying to stop infiltration. Now, insulation, no matter how thick it is, insulation, it's not going to be a huge impact on the house. Infiltration is the huge impact on the house.
Yes.
So a closed cell, even just a thin closed cell, 1 inch thick, will stop 90% of the infiltration in the house. Well, if I'm stopping cold air from getting in, I don't really need thick insulation. Unfortunately, we have these codes, or fortunately, we have these codes that you need a R10 or 14 or whatever 15. It is for the. It is 15. It is 15.
That's in the walls.
That's in the walls. So we got a flash code because that will. I can literally see animals in on my farm through the wood on.
Yeah, when we
yesterday.
don't have the drywall in.
When the drywall's off, right? So that's how loose my house is, and so with the flash code of the closed cell, I don't have that anymore. I'm literally keeping all the heat in the house. But the code is R15, so that you have to put insulation in the walls over top of the closed cell, which it's really not affecting the heating and cooling in my house.
But you do get some
benefits. But you do have to do it. You get benefits,
like,
noise.
noise,
sound.
your sound transmission
but it's
control.
It's not for insulation factors. But up in the attic, same thing. You have to have it so thick. What the R value is so thick, so that's why you flash code it with the closed cell. That's stopping 90% of the infiltration. Then the open cell, it's a cheaper foam and it doesn't do as much, but it does satisfy the R15 or whatever it is on the
A lot of
roof
people
deck.
swear by the open cell though. It's a lot of conversation on those topics.
Sound is a big thing. So no echoing, stuff like that. So, but I'm sold out on closed cell, like I said, all the way back 15 years ago. So we're coming up on a hard break. 627-7979. We are waiting on your calls. Please call in. We came out tonight just to help you and your house. Remember, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping other people listening. 627-7979. Call in while we're on break. Thanks. The 757 House Whisperers Show. We got Mark Dunn bringing us in hot, which reminds me, October 19th, this Saturday, we are having the annual Worley's Farm Party. Everybody here on the show will be at the party. It's an oyster roast. We're going to have Brunswick stew for all those that don't like oysters. My fiance eats her weight in oysters. So it is... No, she will tear up a plate. So, but I do want to remind you guys, there's no charge to come to the party. We got a tap van there. It's going to have 6 taps. Of course, my son loves Miller Lite, so there'll be 2 kegs of Miller Lite, some IPAs, and Devil's Backbone or something. We're going to have something cool there. But 6 taps, and we are going to have a Can the Van event. And what that basically means, we are going to fill my marketing van, which is just a minivan, right? But it's not one of my tall vans, right? But we're gonna can the van. Do not bring 1 can. I will kick you out of the party. I'm just kidding. So bring a 6-pack, bring a 12-pack of canned goods, non-perishable. We're helping out the Peninsula Food Bank because that is what they said that they need the most help with this year is for the holiday season coming up. Come help me can the van. We're going to fill
particular type of cans you need.
I don't think. I mean, corn, pineapples, whatever. Just string beans, peas.
But not empty cans, right?
All right, from the guy that doesn't eat sugar. All right.
Yeah.
So can the van. We're going to fill up this van. Bring a 6-pack, 12-pack of cans. No beer. I had a friend say, I'm going to bring a 6-pack. No, that's one of my friends in low places, right? So anyway, let's help the Peninsula Food Bank. It's at my farm. You have to register, get online, go to my Facebook page, go to Worley's Home Services page. It will be on there. There's a QR code that you can pop, register, so we know how many oysters and stuff. I think we got 10 or 12 what do you call it? Bushels? Yeah. So coming, plus some huge pots, the biggest pots I've ever seen of Brunswick stew. So, but Mark Dunn, the reason Mark Dunn reminded me of that is because he will be rocking it out as he does every single year. It's worth it just to come to a free concert with Mark Dunn. We've been friends since 6th grade. He is fantastic. So anybody that doesn't know Mark Dunn, you'll be buying a T-shirt or buying a CD by the end of the night because he is fantastic. What a great, great guitarist. First time I ever heard him play, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. I was just like, oh, my gosh, this guy, I mean, he's just amazing.
Hey,
so,
Chuck, you got some trivia questions to some people out there that want to actually
I told
win
him
some
to
stuff.
remind me of
Okay?
trivia questions. So trivia questions are 627-7979. Get ready to call in. What year was Mother Teresa given the Mobile? No, that's easy for me to spell. Nobel. I spelled it wrong is the problem. Nobel Peace Prize. You're older than me. Don't even act like you don't slip up. That's true. That's true. I'm in the middle in this group.
Kind of reminds me of more cowbell. Mobile.
Right. So what year did Mother Teresa get the Nobel Peace Prize?
Do you know what that is?
I do what it is.
Okay.
I do know what it is. I know Obama got it.
It's
I'm
not the same
sure
as Mobile,
how
though.
that happened. But anyway, and then what is the Prime Minister Trudeau's, what did his dad do for a living? And then what was his name? Because I know everybody here in America loves Trudeau. So I figured that would spark some. I know exactly.
Anybody that calls in, you're going to get what are they going to get?
They're going to get I'm going to hire you to keep me straight today. Thank
Come
you.
on.
So I know Julie's not here to keep me straight. So anyway, we are going to give a gift card for coffee. Please call in. You answer a trivia question or you ask a question about your house. Definitely call in 627-7979. We got about 20 minutes left. So call in now so we'll have time to answer your question.
You guys call in. Let's try to stump the experts here. Chuck, let's go back to that insulation. So when we're on this insulation, we were talking about you got the spray foam. Basically it's the way I like to explain it is when you put that flash coat on, it kind of reminds me of you're out in the cold, you got a jacket on, but you don't zip it up. And when you don't zip up the jacket, you get that cold air. So that when you're doing that flash coat, you're basically closing off any possibility. You're zipping it up, right. And you're basically preventing any of that air infiltration. So it's like you open a window, you're unzipping it. So if you can figure out how to get that airtight and not allow that quick change in temperature, you're going to feel warmer.
100%. That's actually a great analogy.
The one thing that flash coat or a little extra will do for your house also is structurally it tightens your house up because it bonds the board
There's
on
so
the
many
outside,
benefits. There's so many
with
benefits.
the studs around it. And so it makes them more of one unit. It's just not the nails through the sheathing on the outside. It's also the stud being bonded by that. So that's a big plus, too, especially in this area where we can have some high winds on occasion.
Well, go ahead and introduce yourself, Mike, and we'll kind of introduce everybody again so you kind of remind everybody.
I'm one of the owners, along with Barry Taylor, of CVP Windows and Doors. We're in Newport News, Virginia. We are the Hampton Roads and Eastern Virginia, the only window manufacturer. We have people that come on in this area here, and they say their windows are locally made. Well, they're locally made in Maryland, which is more local than Missouri, I guess, or the Middle East. But, they're not local. They're not local.
Yeah, you said Middle East. Yeah, that's good. That's not close.
That's not local either.
That's not.
But we even allow people come to visit our plant. We would recommend that you do. We want you to see what we do to make your product. the people that are there. We've owned the business, Barry and I have, along with some other people. We bought them out, but 23 years. And in 23 years, we've got people that are still there that were there 23 years ago.
That's awesome.
They like working there. We offer them a Simple IRA that we contribute to for them for their long-term haul when they go into retirement. And we just look out for employees so they don't want to leave. They like staying. We take good care of them and move on, just like Cindy does her people.
Right. Well, I'm Cindy Rowell, owner operator of Alpha Pest Solutions. We are a family-owned and operated full-service exterminating company, which just doesn't do just pest control, but also moisture control and termites, anything that eats your house, termites, powder post beetles, carpenter ants, carpenter bees. If it eats your house, we can get it.
And remember, she has a license, the only woman you know with a license to kill.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Albin.
Yeah, I'm Albin with Albin Co. We specialize in home remodels. So we're rolling out a lot of new kitchens right now, new baths, and doing a lot of guts where we just gut out the house and go back and put everything back the way the customer wants. We move a lot of walls sometimes. So.
All right, I'm going to introduce Justin Murphy with Pyramid Roofing, and then Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. It looks like we got a call here. Remember, 627-7979. Call in now. We've only got about 14 minutes or 15 minutes to answer your question. So call in now. And let's go to Terrence. Hello, Mr. Terrence.
Yes, sir. Hello, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you.
How are y'all today?
Hey,
We
doing
are
fine.
well.
Good.
All righty. Okay. Answer to your question.
All
I
right.
graduated in 1976, so I believe it was 1979 when she received the award.
That is absolutely
good.
correct. That was good.
Ding, ding,
Now,
ding.
what exactly did she do?
I did.
I didn't ask that question, so this you still
Fill
get
the
your
world
gift
with-
card. You still get your gift
Fill the
card.
world with love. Yeah, fill the world with love.
She did. She was an amazing woman. So what she actually did was Roman Catholic. She started the Roman Catholic Order of Women dedicated to the poor, and obviously focused on India.
Wow, very good.
So 1979 is the trivia answer for Mother Teresa. So where do you live at? It looks like you live in
Hampton.
Hampton.
Have you
All right.
been here since
In your house?
1979 or?
Yeah, I've been here for over 35 years.
Oh my, you've seen a lot of change here.
Yeah. How old is your house?
Let's see, I've been in it for 35.
Oh
So
wow.
I'll say 45.
You got replacement windows in it, buddy?
No, I've done that. I guess about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
good.
That's good.
It's good. What do you think
the
your
one
next?
thing I would like
Go
to
ahead.
say to y'all, I knew I had the answer right, but whoever calls next, whatever it is you had for me, give it to them.
You are a good man. You are a good man.
I'm
Paying
happy.
it forward.
You
That's
are
pretty
paying
cool.
it there.
Terrence, I'm happy to come do a free inspection of your home to make sure you don't have any
Of the
issues
crawl
going on if
space,
you'd like
right.
that for your crawl space.
And she does mean free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, the young lady has my my phone number and address and everything.
Okay.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
So please do.
I will.
All right.
Thank
and
you
that,
so much.
What's your
Thank you
next?
so
What's
much.
your next big project on the on your?
Well, in the next 2 years, I'll be selling it. So the biggest thing probably would be roofing.
But you
Okay.
actually need me too if you're going to be selling. Let's take a
Yeah.
look and see if you got some stuff going on.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds good.
I will look forward to the call then.
All right. Well, let's go
Thanks
to
a
the
lot,
next
Terrence.
caller. Looks like Chappie.
Newport News.
Chappie's got a remodel question.
Hey, yeah. So, anyway, but first of all, you guys are great. You're one of my favorite shows on the radio. No kidding.
Well,
But,
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
So, I have a question. About 15 years ago, I was doing, side jobs for people. I'm a carpenter, and back in the day, I'd help people out and do small jobs. And this lady asked me about her crawl space, and I said, you should look into crawl space encapsulation. And then she started ghosting me. She wouldn't call me back for jobs and stuff. And then I finally pinned her down. I was like, hey, do you still need the other jobs done? And she said no. And I said, is there a problem? And she yelled at me for telling her to encapsulate her crawl space. So I guess back in the day, maybe people didn't understand the reason for doing that. And I was just kind of curious if that was a thing back then, or maybe she was just a bad apple. And then if so, if that's the case now, or people really understand and agree, or maybe every house is different. I don't know. That always puzzled me.
No, absolutely. Every house is different. I have been doing encapsulation since 2001, kind of before it was cool. Now everybody thinks they know what they're doing. So all the mistakes that are being made today, I actually made 20 years ago. So building it works as a system together. There's a science to a house, right? So back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s was when encapsulated crawl spaces, they've been done before that, but really started coming more popular. And the reason for that is that in the late 90s, there was, I believe it was North Carolina A&T. It was a college, or they were doing some kind of event of testing like these 9 houses in a row. It's under closedcrawlspace.com, I think is the website, but it's actually this report that's like, I printed it out one time and I had to change the ink in my big printer. So it's a really big, so people started investigating, let's stop moisture from getting into the crawl space before it starts damaging my house. Because as we've talked about on this show, the death of a house is moisture. Moisture, water, a bad contractor, and a bad homeowner, or a bad DIY. So those are the 3 things that kill a house. Yeah. Moisture, bad contractor, and a homeowner sometimes that don't know what they're doing. So they're the 3 bad things that kill a house. But moisture is number 1. Yeah. And if moisture is in your crawl space, it's going to make my ductwork sweat. It's going to make my walls sweat. It's going to bring all the, rats and snakes and all that. They like to drink water, right? So there's moisture under there. It looks like a war zone underneath the house. They're up in the insulation. An encapsulation definitely makes the crawl space look better and controls the humidity in your crawl space. But think about 30% of your air in your house actually comes into your house. So, because a natural draft, you're a construction guy, is a natural draft of a house up or down?
It's up.
It's up, right? So all that crawl space air, all that that's coming into the holes in your house. Because we all know every single AC guy takes the time to caulk around that boot and that hole that he cut in the floor, right?
Yeah.
Never, right? It's I mean they do now, because if they pull a permit, because we pull permits on every job, so we pull a permit and we have to actually caulk around the boots and stuff, because the testing that we do, that's called a duct blast test, has to be less than 4% duct loss, which if that is open and not sealed, the duct loss is, that's 50% of the fails. Yes,
Chuck,
ma'am.
So he's worried about why this woman was upset with him, and I can probably
it's just
answer.
education,
but
right?
no, I think so years ago there were very few termite and moisture companies that would even go into a crawl space and inspect it because of being encapsulated.
You know what? That's right.
Yeah. And so the way you guys did it changed a bit to where you allow a barrier at the top of that, so we could see the wood and we could see what's going on in there. So there was
if I'm sorry, if I can add something, I used to work for a small home builder back in '06, and I remember we would encapsulate our crawl spaces and we did it right. But I do remember people complaining about it because I think it was still a new technology.
Exactly.
But we pushed forward and found people that would understand. And I do remember, I'm sorry for interrupting, but you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that Chuck always says is it's in the name.
Go to
Tide water.
Yeah. It's in the name. You have moisture in the name.
Because we have water in the area, it's a good thing to zip up the crawl space just like you zip up the walls. We want to try to keep that that vapor transmission into the house.
And I still argue with pest control people. Not everybody is as educated as Cindy, and there's a few other guys out there, but the pest control guys, their job is pest control, right? They do some moisture stuff because they're underneath the house, but I'm a building science guy. Like, explain the science of what you're doing. Blowing a fan from one end of the house to the other past my cold ductwork, that's sweating because there's humidity under the house. I put a fan on one side of the house and pull hot air into the house, and a fan on the other side of the house blowing air out. So now I'm sucking hot, humid air from outside past my 40 degree metal ductwork that's already sweating. Is it going to sweat more or less if I have hot, humid air blowing faster across my cold ductwork?
More.
Yeah. It's math. Definitely. It's science. Any guy. I mean, excuse me, I stand corrected. So. When now the code is we got to put R10 on the walls and insulate the sidewalls now with the new codes up since 2019-18. So you have to foam board. So if I'm stopping the infiltration of cold air getting into my crawl space, the ductwork leaks, all that hot air goes into the crawl and then rises, right? So there's no
area because you get rainfall outside. What happens to that rain? It's going to find its way in. The ground's going to be moist, and then those days you're going to get more moisture in the house. So you want to try to control basically the shrinking and swelling in your house and maintain a good humidity point. I guess what do you call it? Like what's a good humidity level for the crawl?
That's a great question. So keeping it under 60%. Once we hit 60% humidity, mold and mildew can grow. Once we get it under 60%,
can you do that without
some crawl spaces maybe.
Without the encapsulation.
A smaller crawl space
very
maybe.
Few, right?
Yeah, it's
very few.
Again, you bought a house in the nickname Tidewater. You bought a house in the area nicknamed Tidewater, right?
Also, one thing to think about. A lot of people out there listening, you got a house that hasn't had a vapor barrier changed out in the last 20 years, you probably need one changed out because the 6 mil polys just don't last that long. I mean, maybe you get 10, 12 years out of it. So
And Cindy will jump onto there. She'll give you a free inspection. Call in, reach out to 955-9415. You can text that number. I can get you in touch with her. I'm on that phone number. So 757-955-9415. Text or call that number, and we will get you to whatever one of the experts that you want. That's the 757 House Whisperer line. I will tell you that I wanted to grab this phone call real quick. We had did he drop off? Yeah. The other guy dropped off? Okay. All right. I think he was trying to answer the trivia. So let me answer that trivia. I know we got 30 seconds left. The Prime Minister name was Pierre Elliott Trudeau. And he was a prime minister also, which I did not know that.
It's a monopoly up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
keep it in the family.
Yeah, exactly. Keep the money in the family, right? All right, guys, thanks for calling in, and thanks for enjoying the show. And Chappie, thanks for the very kind words. We appreciate that.
Take care.
From a fellow contractor.
The preceding program is sponsored and paid for by Worley Home Services, who's entirely responsible for its content.